Arturo Delgado is a spokesman for ChristUS St. Vincent and joins us. Give us a brief overview of what's in this draft document.
Well, essentially, it makes reference to the ERDs, but it is a draft. It's language that's used throughout the ChristUS system, and that language will not appear in the final contract.
Well, but why was it submitted? Why was it circulated?
Again, it was just a starting point for us to draft a contract for our physicians, and it's one of those things where that language was in a template that's used, and it will be removed.
Didn't you say, or the hospital say, last year, over a year ago when the merger was completed, that there would be no such language in a contract?
And we did say that. That's precisely why we are removing it from the template.
So that begs the question, why circulate it?
Well, again, it was a draft to start off with based on a template, and that language will be removed.
I'm still not satisfied, Arturo, with the answer. If the agreement was to not contain such language, why even present it?
Well, all I can really tell you, Bill, it was a very early version of a draft based on a template, and that language is not going to be in the final.
Why is it necessary to have yet another contract at this point?
It's not another contract. All physicians have employment contracts here if they're employed physicians at ChristUS St. Vincent. This isn't a new thing.
So it would be a contract for new employees. Previously hired employees have already signed a contract?
Employed physicians. Employees, for example, I do not have a contract that I sign. Physicians, a little bit different. They do have a contract that they sign. And it's depending on how long their contract is for, if it's for a year, 2 years, so forth.
And of course, new ones coming on board would have to sign a contract.
Correct. And that's not new. That's always been the case.
So if a new one comes on board, should the contract be different from the contract signed by someone who's been on board for the past year?
The contracts, I'm sorry, ask the question again?
Well, of course, we know that a new doctor would have to sign a contract, a new nurse would have to sign a contract, but one who was on board a year ago has already signed a contract. Why not just use that contract for the new employee, the new doctor?
Okay, just to be clear, nurses do not sign contracts. Just to be absolutely clear.
Okay.
We have 50 employed physicians, and there are a total of 380 physicians on our medical staff. And understand that 50 of those are our employees. All of those 50 physicians will all sign the same contract.
So if you change the contract, then you have to go back to the people who signed a contract last year and get them to sign a new one.
Once their current contract expires.
We might have a person who's on board for a couple of years working on a contract that's different from the contract being signed by a new physician today?
Correct. But again, I guess what you're trying to, I'm not too clear on what you're asking.
Well, there would be, in other words, if everyone's signing different contracts, there would be no uniformity in the contract.
No, there will be uniformity in the contracts, but obviously when someone's contract expires, they have to sign a new one. It doesn't matter how long they've been here. The contracts the contracts that we have are not open-ended. I mean, there is a beginning date and an end date to the contracts.
Yes, but not to belabor the point. A physician signed a contract last year specifying something. A new physician comes on board today, signs a somewhat different version of that contract. Is that what you're saying might happen?
Well, and again, I'm not trying to be argumentative, Bill, but what my point is if the contracts do change from year to year, they can. I mean, that's the whole point of having a contract. Certain conditions, stipulations can change, whatever those are. So if you have once a contract expires, they will sign a new contract. It has nothing to do with anything other than how business is conducted within hospitals and between hospitals and physicians.
But contracts can run a period of a couple of years.
They're probably more likely 1 year.
It's coming time for new contracts for everyone, including new people, and so you need a new contract.
Well, it's not necessary. I mean, the contracts are signed at different times. I mean, it depends on when someone signed on as a physician. It could be any time. We don't hire physicians just in one specific month. Say we don't hire physicians just in the month of March or just in the month of August.
At any rate, this language proposed in the draft will not be in any final version.
That is correct.
Arturo Delgado, many thanks.
Thank you.